Good morning, everyone. Good Wednesday morning. It's hump day. I hope you guys are having a great week as of yet. I just wanted to jump on here to tell you about this video that I saw this morning. So my cousin sent me this TikTok video, and I'm not a TikToker, but the things that my friends send me and my family send me are hilarious. I'm trying not to get on it because I don't need further distractions. But anyway, this one was a good one. So there was this guy, and he's sitting in his car. I don't know who he was or what his background is, but he figured out how to scoot past the system when you're submitting an application and a resume. Now, I must admit, it was creative. He said that to get to the top of the pack with your resume, to get it, I assume he meant past like the ATS systems, which is the applicant tracking systems that we use sometimes. Some companies, most of the companies that I've worked for, use them to get, to contain the applications and the resumes. They also help us screen through them as well. And sometimes that's just by keywords and things like that. So I assume that's what he was thinking. Bless his heart. But what he said was, on your resume, go to the bottom of your resume and then go to the job description of whatever job you're applying for. Copy the requirements for the position, right? Everything that you need to have on your resume, and go ahead and paste it at the bottom. So when he said that, at first I was like, you gotta be kidding me, right? And then I listened a little further. Then he said, go ahead and highlight that and turn it, change the font to white so it won't show up on your resume, right? So you just submit it that way. So now when it goes through these systems, it will automatically like pull your resume to the top because it had the keywords to it. Pretty ingenious, I must admit, I will say, to bring your resume to the top. And it might work. And depending on how they're screening, how the recruiter's screening things, it really might work. Pretty smart idea. But what happens when the recruiter actually looks through your resume? And then they see that, how did this come up to the top as being even qualified? Because they only have 3 of the things, or maybe none of the things. Then what do? Good game, bro. But just do the work. Just do the work, okay? It makes no sense to try to trick the system. If you don't have those skills and qualifications, somebody's gonna call you on it. Let's say it makes it past the recruiter and they're really not screening anything, they just passing it over to the manager. A lot of times there's not a recruiter screen. There might be just a sourcer, and depending on how things are set up, I've worked for some strange companies that have some not really bright ways of screening applicants. So let's say there's a sourcer, and their job is just to screen resumes and send them over to the manager. I know that because that's what happened at Amazon, which I didn't care for doing, but my job was to just find people who had the skills and qualifications that the manager was looking for based on the job description and our intake meeting, which is just a meeting with the manager. And then I just pass them on to the hiring manager. So there was not a recruiter in between me and the hiring manager. I was a recruiter, I was the sourcer. I had no contact with the applicant at all. So let's say it gets to the hiring manager. Same thing is gonna happen. Why did you send this person to me? Well, they just came up in my screening. But why? Okay, so somebody has to answer the question, why did this person show up? But let's just say it happens to get there and you get called in for an interview, or you get a video call on an interview, which, is happening a lot these days. You have to do these Zoom calls. So if y'all are not comfortable on camera, you might want to practice a little bit, all right? It's not the easiest thing to do. But I'll talk about that in another video of how to get through those. I just did one myself, and it's a little uncomfortable. But at any rate, what are you going to do when they start asking you questions about these positions? What are you going to do when they ask you, do you know this system or that system? You know, your resume came to me and I'm trying to figure out, I don't see it on your resume. Tell me a little bit about it. You know, because sometimes people don't do their resumes correctly. And, you know, oftentimes, well, sometimes recruiters or managers will give you the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, I don't see this on your resume. You said you had 7 years of this, 5 years, whatever the case is. But I don't really see it on your resume. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? Because it may be something that you've done in your past. I had this recently. I had a young recruiter tell me he didn't see 20 years of experience in recruiting on my resume. So not to be sarcastic to him, but I was like, well, if I put 20 years of experience on my resume, it'd be like 5 pages, right? Nobody else should have a resume that's 5 pages. That, unless you're a doctor or a lawyer, and then they're not called resumes. They're something else that I don't even deal with. But that let me know how young and inexperienced he was as a recruiter. Again, bless his heart. But I just want to jump on there to let you all know, hey, though that is a creative way to get your resume to the top of the so-called pile, it is not smart to do. Keep your creativity. Use it in some other area, maybe in actually getting the skills and actually learning the job. But don't try to fake the funk, okay? You can only do so much before someone realizes you're not qualified for this job, and you don't want to have to be called out for that, especially on the interview. Don't mess up your chances with a company or something by acting like you could do something when you really cannot. All right. Reach out, ask somebody to help you with your resume. I'm a good person to help you with your resume. I'll show you how to create that resume for the career that you don't only want, but that you're actually qualified for. We just got to do the work, people. All right. You got to put in the time. You got to do the work. There is no easy way to climb the ladder. Even if you know people, somebody's going to realize at some point that you've just been passed along. All right. So don't let that happen to you. Build your career the right way. Reach out to Singer Career Counseling, and I will certainly be that person to help you with your interviews, your resume, your job search. Just how to conduct yourself, how to handle yourself, what to wear. You know, a lot of us have been stuck at home for the last, it's coming up on 2 years soon, but the last year and a little more than a half. And, you know, we've gotten comfortable. I was telling my cousin, I don't know if my feet are going to fit in some pumps again. Thank goodness I don't have to do that. So, but just, you know, be prepared. All right. And if you're trying to make yourself look a little more important, don't do that. All right. Just do what you need to do. Reach out and get some help. I'm here to help you. Y'all take care. Have a great Wednesday and have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.